Doc, what's the state of affairs presently?
Let me say that last week there were some engagements. I mean, right from the Vice Chancellor's Ghana, the Sector Minister, Dr. Duchum, and the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Deputy Minister of Finance, a couple of others, the GTAG Director General, and all that. There were some engagements. Unfortunately, I cannot see that the outcome was so fruitful to have gotten UTAG to get back to the lecture rooms to teach. So unfortunately, that's where we have been. The whole of this week, I don't think there has been any serious meetings to report. So unfortunately, that's where we are.
It's interesting the point about your description of the meeting you've had with, top executives of the government, and you don't think you would describe it as fruitful. Now, what are the issues lingering now, and how is it that we are not able to make a headway?
Yeah, I think that the issues we've discussed over and over. I mean, you have lecturers talking about their salaries, talking about the market premium or interim market premium declining from a certain 114% of their basic to almost about 50% as we speak. And so therefore the take home has dwindled so much. But of course, the other side of it is that the employer also feels that, look, there's a process for us to go through to arrive at something new. And that is where there is a bone of contention that, yes, whilst we believe that you need all the time to begin implementation, then do something about what has already eroded so that we can take time. Because then the historical perspective is that the market premium, the single spine implementation came into being somewhere 2012, 2013. In 2014, there was supposed to be a labor market survey to have reviewed the premiums. It happened, but then review of the salary did not happen. And so if in 2019, another survey has been conducted, and the report is now out in 2022, without its accompanying figures as to how much people are going to receive or otherwise, then it creates a certain level of discussion. So that is where there is some bit of disagreement, whether to return to the tables without any offer or put an offer to the lecturers, something to cushion them whilst we go through the implementation. The processes to implement the new survey that that has been conducted. So basically, I think it's some level of disagreement and some level of mistrust along the line. But I believe that these are things we can overcome. We can overcome, given all the brains we have around, given the leaders that we have around. I think that these are things we can easily let reason prevail, so that we can overcome the current challenge we are faced with.
Doc, UCC, Legon, KNUST, you have top professors who are very much vested in economics and finance. And these are the same people as media folks we engage all the time. And the picture they paint for us is that the economy is not doing well. Some have even described the state of affairs of the economy as being broke. And therefore, one would expect that UTAG would know this and therefore should be able to come to some consensus with government as to some payment module so as to get these things you're asking for after we are out of the woods. Is that too much to ask if I made that call?
No, from our perspective, these are things we have put on the table long ago. It's not as if that we are demanding a one-time payment or anything. No, that has not been the call. If you check proposals we have submitted as far back as 2018 and all that, we have made proposals as to even getting a certain roadmap to be able to adjust the salaries over a certain period. As I remember in 2018, a paper we presented, we made a forecast, and that forecast was to project even up to 2021, from 2018 to 2021. And as we speak, we are now in 2022. So all that forecast we did virtually is gone. I mean, so these are proposals we have presented, roadmaps and all that, but unfortunately, it appears we have not been able to agree on any of these.
What's the difficulty for government when you meet them for these discussions? Wherein lies their difficulties?
Of course, I don't do I do not qualify to speak for the employer, unfortunately. But what I see coming up, I mean, in most cases, is the rippling effects of, I mean, attending to the needs of one union and the effect it will have. I mean, others jumping on board to be able to say that, okay, if you have done it for A, then do it for B and all that. So the rippling effect is from where I sit, is what I think is the most, difficulty for the employer. But I mean, as I said, yes, if we know all these things, but of course we cannot say that because of a rippling effect, then people should continue to suffer. But as I keep saying, I think that we need to engage further. We need to engage more, and then quickly see how we can come out of this. I think it's doable. It's something that we can overcome.
Do we have space enough to go through these, marathon negotiations you are embarking on, seeing that there's a possibility for us to shut down our universities?
Well, that is another side of the conversation. Well, to shut down or not to shut down, again, I as a union leader, I don't qualify to speak to that. That is for management of the various institutions to decide. I mean, there are regulations as to whether they will go by those regulations or not. It's something else that they will have to. But it's important that we keep our eye on that ball so that we don't hit that ground before we begin to act. And so we have heard, trying to go the legal way. The NLC and other stakeholders trying to go the legal way, intending to go to court or have gone to court and intend to move. I mean, these are things that, from where some of us we sit, we think that we are better off engaging, dialoguing than going the legal battle, because then it makes everybody takes an entrenched position. And in this time, I don't think that we need, entrenched positions. Being at polar ends, it's not going to really help us. So I would say that we have an opportunity to engage more than we have done, and I think that we can find a solution out of these engagements.
What would you say is lacking in all this?
Well, I think that from the union's perspective, what is lacking is commitment to, on the side of the employer, to be able to say that, look, I am putting X, Y, Z on the table, to be able to get the union to consider. And I see so because, you see, the thing is that from a perspective of labor, it's better to say that, look, suspend your industrial action and come for negotiation. Let's sit down and talk. But our immediate history is what has also made the lecturers also taking a certain posture. That, look, we have had a recent history where we suspended, and we think that some of the things that we appended our signature to, that we said we were going to talk about after we suspended, it was like, no, these are areas we cannot go, and so we were back to square one. We can only find something in one area and all that. So it's the commitment, and I think that the commitment and the economic space and all that is what is playing out. But as I end up going around to see that, in spite of these difficulties, I want to believe that we can be more transparent and be very candid with each other in a very friendly atmosphere and find a way around it. I think that we need to resolve this within the shortest possible time. It is not in our interest to sit and watch the universities shut down. I mean, when we can dialogue more and get. I would even say that if we have to lock ourselves up in a room for 2 weeks, 2 days, 3 days, and come out with a solution, we should consider it.
Final one is a statement that came from Gov't. I read a paragraph where they appeal to you. They say, while we plead with government to expedite steps to call off the strike action, we humbly appeal to UTAG to consider the plight of our members and resume work since it has the potential of affecting academic calendar of the university. This appeal, have you heard it, and what's your response?
Yes, I haven't read it, but I mean, I have seen their statements flying around. I haven't had the space to read, but it's a genuine appeal. It's a genuine appeal. But again, I go back to the fact that, yes, even though it's a genuine appeal, the ordinary lecturer also has taken a certain decision. Look, we want the employer to this time around consider, acknowledge, and consider that we are in a very worse condition if the community is concerned, and so the employer do something at least for once for the academic community. And so, yes, in as much as I agree with Gov't and appeal, I think that we should also see reason in what the lecturer is saying, and so that all of us can find a space to be able to agree around one thing, and come back to teach, because that's one of our core business is to teach. So to come to work to only concentrate on research, concentrate on doing some community service and attending meetings there and not teaching while the students are around is really not the best for all of us.